Hi everyone, I'm extremely excited at this moment to have Brother Sophal to set for the IELTS test a short while ago, and he got an 8.5 for reading with me. He's gonna be sharing with you his experience, preparations, and tips to be ahead of the IELTS test, specifically reading satisfactorily. Before you can enjoy watching and listening to Brother Sophal, I'd like to introduce you to my YouTube channel known as IELTS Translation. This channel focuses on translating IELTS reading passages from English to Khmer. However, it doesn't only show you the translation which make you fully comprehend the reading passages. It also teaches you loads of difficult vocabulary words used in IELTS reading. This means if you happen to see one of the passages taught on this channel in your official IELTS test, I'm sure you'll spend less than 10 minutes or less than 20 minutes on that passage. Before you can watch and listen, please help subscribe my YouTube channel. Okay, now please watch and listen to Brother Sophal.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Sophal, and I'm going to share with you some tips on how to get high score on the IELTS. As for myself, I got 8.5 band on the IELTS reading. Now, where can I start? Well, first, the IELTS reading, there are different types of questions. There's the topic, but I think the most challenging ones or the most interesting ones are the heading matching and the true false not given. So I'm going to share with you on how to deal with these tips. Firstly, every time you see a reading, it's always a good idea to look through the text first and through the questions. For me, I always read through the article first and then look through the questions. But it's I would say when you're reading through it, you try to get an idea of what kind of text this is, and by the time you finish reading through it, you should remember one or two things about it in general. So like for example, in the first part of the text, when I read through it, I remember a few details. So when I read the questions afterwards, I'm always able to answer one or two questions. And then I read through it again. The first thing is always to look through the article first so that you know how to do it. For some people, it's a good idea to read the questions first and then go through the article. But for me, because I just like reading, I'm always pulled to the article and then look through the questions. So that is tip number one. Number two, it is always a good idea to underline your answers. So in the reading passage, they have a text, and you should, like for example, if there is question 1 and you think one part of it is the answer, you just underline it there and put number 1. Do it with every question. This way, it helps you to check backwards. And yeah, it's very, very helpful. And doing that one is especially useful for the second part, which the true false not given, because by underlining it you can clearly know that whether the answer is false or it is not actually there. So in answering the true false not given, it's easy. So like if it's true, you underline it, you actually see it there. So okay, it is true. If it is false, you will probably see the statement in the question paper is the complete opposite of what you see on the paper. That is false. Another one, you see, if you cannot find an answer on the text, then it's probably not given. And the idea of numbering is like that, especially in not given. So like 9, 10, you have true, false, so you underline it and put 9, 10, and then suddenly you find the answer to question 12, 13. So that actually shows that, okay, so number 11 is not given. So that is a very useful thing. For the heading match, reading through it first is a good idea. Like I said, it's because as soon as you finish the first reading, you get a general idea of what kind of text it is, or what's the general idea of 1 or 2 paragraphs. And then you can match what you think with the headings that they give you. And that is how you, and that's how you get some of the answers. Another problem with the IELTS is many people say the words are difficult. But for me, I never worry about the new words. It's like the idea of IELTS is to get information out. So that is exactly what we are supposed to do. So like, my advice is that you just have to read through the questions, what do they want, and look for answers that fit it. Underline it and answer your questions. If there are difficult words, but it's not part of the answer, you should not worry about it. This way it saves you a tremendous amount of time. And to be honest, I always finish my reading early because of doing these tips. Okay, so yeah, thank you for your time. Don't forget to check out IELTS translation
YouTube
website for
channel.
some more information.